And welcome to Cowboy Here It Comes Logic, everyone. I'm Donna Fiducia. He's so weird. Could you imagine if he drank? We'd be in so much trouble. We would be in so much trouble.
Yeah. Well, I probably would be the one that would be in trouble.
Yes.
Because I'm staying out of trouble by a nanoparticle.
I'm going to say something I've wanted to say on the air for a really long time.
How much you love me.
You know, besides that.
Say that.
I do love you.
How much?
You're goofy. Whole world. The whole world.
Am I your everything?
Yes, you are my everything.
Am I your world?
Will you stop? Yes.
Seriously?
Yes, you are.
I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love me?
11. It's one more than 10.
Hey, Ron, how much do you love me?
Could you imagine if he drank? We'd be in so much trouble. We would be in so much trouble.
Yeah. Well, I probably would be the one that would be in trouble.
Yes.
Because I'm staying out of trouble by a nanoparticle.
I'm going to say something I've wanted to say on the air for a really long time.
How much you love me.
You know, besides that.
Say that.
I do love you.
How much?
You're goofy. Whole world. The whole world.
Am I your everything?
Yes, you are my everything.
Am I your world?
Will you stop? Yes.
Seriously?
Yes, you are.
I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love me?
11. It's one more than 10.
Hey, Ron, how much do you love me?
I probably shouldn't say this, but I used to charge people over $1,000 to fix this exact kind of scratch. Now watch this.
And welcome to Cowboy Here Comes Logic, everyone. I'm Dr. Fiducia. He's so weird. Could you imagine if he drank? We'd be in so much trouble. We would be in so much trouble.
Yeah. Well, I probably would be the one that would be in trouble.
Yes.
Because I'm staying out of trouble by a nanoparticle.
I'm going to say something I've wanted to say on the air for a really long time.
How much you love me.
Well, besides that.
Say that.
I do love you.
How much?
You're goofy. Whole world. The whole world.
Am I your everything?
Yes, you are my everything.
Am I your world?
Will you stop? Yes.
Seriously?
Yes, you are.
I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love me?
11. It's one more than 10.
Hey, Ron, how much do you love me?
12, Don, just because
12.
it's one more than Donna.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right, but this is what I've been wanting to say on the air for decades. Da Bears. Da Bears. The Bears survived the greatest.
We got to do a shout out, though, for Da Bears to Connie Meggs, because she's a Da Bears fan that are now going to be in Indiana.
Yeah, I'm sure that Da Bears fans in Chicago aren't happy. So Da Bears survived the Great Depression, the 2008 financial crisis, but not stupid Democrat politicians. Unbelievable. And it's apropos. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
So do we?
There you go, Connie Meggs.
Do we have a winner? Do we have a winner yet in California? It's
No.
so in your face. How in your face can they be? They're doing the same damn thing they did 6 years ago in 2020. Surprise, surprise. They're saying, well, it might take 40 days and probably 40 nights before they count them all.
Do your France versus California analogy.
Well, that's the whole point. I believe that France, I did have the numbers here somewhere. Oh, yeah, here we are. The population of France, 66.7 million. The population of California, just under 40 million, so 39.3 million, okay? So we are talking a hell of a lot more people. France can count their ballots on paper without machines in one day. They have single-day voting, and I said it on the morning show the other day, how France does...
Was that real?
It was. Something's in my throat.
Do you need some ivermectin?
No, I don't
Here,
need
put some of this on your tongue.
Ew, no, gosh, go away with
Try
that.
it.
No.
Try it. I'm serious. It'll make you feel better.
There's something in my throat.
Yeah, do that.
Ugh. Now I'm really going to cough.
Doing it. That's doing it.
Yeah. PatriotsRelief.com.
Feel better?
Promo code 1776
Feel better now?
for 45% off. Yes, I do feel better. They're doing 45% off, by the way, PatriotsRelief.com. Anyhow, the population of France, 66.7 million. The population of California, 39.3 million. They're going to take at least a month to vote because then they're going to get the desired results. Gee, we never would have thought of that. So, and what really gets me is, and I said on the morning show, that France does three things better than us. Wine,
Fries.
loser pays. No, not the
Fries.
fries. No, we have the fries. Wine, loser pays, and same-day voting with voter ID on Election Day. I mean, it's just not that hard. It is.
And if they can do this with a soy boy as president, why can't we make this happen in California?
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. So let's review. Laura Logan, a few months ago, had former CIA ops officer Gary Bernstein and Ralph Pizzula on the various ways that they can cheat.
They know where they can find the dead people that they need to get certain votes. They plan this, as Gary said before.
It's meticulous.
It's meticulous. These guys are experts at this. It's not just a few guys in a back room. You're talking about hundreds of statisticians and engineers, and they work it, for a year.
And mathematicians and hackers.
Right.
We had a map out of Colorado when we were talking to our engineers, the guys that designed it, stole the elections. And we looked at it and we said, look, it's Denver here and Colorado Springs, all the Democrats, and they looked at us in pity,
Yeah.
Like, here's something. They said, no, we just go to every one place where Trump wins 70-30 and he's winning 68, or we shave in every other place. We don't go near a Democratic place because when they want to do recounts, they're going to go to the Democratic places. They don't realize we shaved in every other committee. We know every other county. We know how to do this. And then in each of those things where they shave with a different technique in each one of those. So if you found something in one county, there's no continuity around the state that way.
So this is why the Republicans are so much at fault, because they have the power and the ability to show in their areas they can allow access to the machines, they can allow access to the source code, they can allow the.
But they thought we just won by 35%. Okay, we didn't win by 38.
Yeah.
We won by 35. So no one's going to call to. They should have, right?
Because everyone says, well, we expected the Republicans to win by a majority. Oh, it was a little less than we thought it was going to be, but they still won. So, no harm, no foul. But the evidence of the fraud is right there, and they could
They
show
never
it.
looked at it.
It's unbelievable. We should look back on history. It took a month for them to pick Kamala Harris as the AG of California. A month, okay? And she won by less than 1%. So tell me all this isn't contrived, because obviously she went on to bigger and better things. This is so scary what's going on. I mean, John Thune, it's so obvious Thune isn't going to do the Save America Act. And let me remind everybody who keeps saying we should get rid of John Thune. You know who was in second place to replace Thune if he wasn't picked as the leader for the Senate? John Cornyn.
Yeah.
So this is unbelievable. So let's look at the then and now. Those people willing to look at Donald Trump with, absolute, he's the worst person on earth. But Graham Plattner is okay. Check this out.
Yet 50% of America saw all of that and looked the other way and said, I'm going to vote for him anyway. And that is really disheartening, because for me, that means that you are selfish. That tells me that they will look the other way to that kind of behavior. And that, I think, is despicable. It is un-American.
Democrats have to take over the Senate. They have to take over the House. And if it takes getting behind someone like Plattner, which 51% of voters in Maine say that they will get behind him, as opposed to 42%. If I lived in Maine, I would hold my nose and I would pull that lever and I would vote for him.
It's all about power. He actually makes Susan Collins look good. I don't know how that's possible.
Which is very difficult.
But this guy abused women. This is coming out. He's got a Nazi tattoo that he said, and remember, Trump's the Nazi, that he said he didn't know what it was.
And he bashes Purple Heart recipients.
He's a fake oyster fisherman. He pleasured himself in a porta potty. Let's just put it that way. He's rape shaming a dude from Maine. That's what he is, basically. That he wanted to kill the Me Too movement. I mean, this guy is so far left and so out there, but it's exposing how bad the Democrats only want to keep power. This is, and of course, the Southern Poverty Law Center is fine, but they support the KKK. Who'd have thunk this? The love of Nazis after all of this. And by the way, Plattner's wife, I think, gets something like $30,000, maybe even more than that. I'm sure it's a payoff to her, because quite honestly, she's come out and said, well, we have a couple therapists and, we're kind of working on the
This common mistake doubles your electricity bill.
problems we have. This guy should be nowhere near the Senate. Nowhere near the Senate. Maine, please wake up. So let's do some man on the street. Can you call them illegals?
Why do you think undocumented immigrants should be able to vote? Because it's a free country. So is voting a right? It is a right. We should extend that right to non-citizens. Yes. You think that we could go to Mexico or Guatemala and start voting in their elections and determining their country? Maybe not. Maybe what? Maybe not. Maybe not. But they can come to ours and vote in ours.
When you put it that way, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
She's amazing, Caitlin Bennett. She does some great stuff on X. And it just goes to show you how when people are pushed, that, they have to, if they're smart enough to actually, if they have cowboy logic, like that woman there, she might think about it again. But sadly, most don't, because they're brainwashed. It's really crazy.
Their brain died.
Yes.
Have you noticed that with the pink and the blue?
Yes.
Their brains are, that's toxic.
I
it's
think
chemicals.
that does affect.
It's toxic chemicals.
This is true. Hey, the Babylon Bee, though, said something pretty funny the other day, that California just declared that Ronald Reagan won the governorship. They just finished counting.
I feel so sorry for our conservative friends in the state of California. I really
it's
do.
unbelievable. Mrs. Rizzo
Because,
Rizzo out there. I mean, how do you do it? I don't know how you do it.
And there's a ton of them, ladies and gentlemen.
There are.
And you're getting screwed.
Well, if it's this much in your face, we can only hope the Department of Justice will finally look into this. But I don't know what's taken so long, unless both sides want to cheat, which unfortunately is probably the case. But we'll see what happens with this because it's so in your face. We'll be back with more Cowboy Logic right after this.
Patriots Relief, your America First CBD company. We are Christian, conservative, and committed to helping you feel your best. Are you tired of chronic pain holding you back? It's time for a change. Experience the remarkable healing properties of CBD, expertly designed to alleviate pain and promote internal balance. Patriots Relief is here for you. Visit our website or call now. Use your promo code to unlock exclusive savings. Patriots Relief, helping you get out of pain and live life to the fullest.
Hey, you guys, on the break, what you didn't hear was Ron singing Cold as Ice. And it was epic. Ron, great job, man.
And it wasn't AI. It was him actually singing.
It was him.
It was
me. And I don't even sing. That was awesome.
Yeah, but you were doing pretty good. Hey, you guys like that? We haven't played that in a while. We figured that we'd dig it out and let you guys enjoy a little Stevie and Foreigner.
Foreigner, yep.
Yeah.
Cold as ice.
All right, let's get down to business. We got a lot to do in this segment.
All right.
Donna, you still love me?
I do.
Okay, good.
Now, again, I want to mention, folks, the voting is going on. Okay, we got to dump Lindsay in South Carolina, okay? Hire Mark Lynch. And Greg Dolezal for lieutenant governor. His opponent is sadly named John F. Kennedy, unfortunately, so it's kind of hard there. But Kennedy has voted for tax breaks for data centers and driver's license for illegals. So we got Dolezal in for lieutenant governor here in Georgia, please. And, of course, that goes along with the other folks, Burt Jones and Vernon Jones for Secretary of State, and Burt for governor. So please wake up, folks. We need to change things while we can. By the way, the New Jersey rioters were flown in from Portland, as well as a bunch of other places. Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable.
That's shocking.
Yep. So I want to look at how ridiculous things are in D.C. There's a Representative Jacobs, California 51. I mean, it's California, but it is San Diego.
Actually, I think it's 53.
I don't know.
Cali 53, I think.
But she's utterly ridiculous. And it's let me just show you this. Her confrontation this is the Foreign Affairs Committee, and she's questioning Marco Rubio.
Last question for you. Mr. Secretary, who won the 2020 presidential election?
I'm not here to answer a question. We're talking about 2020. This is a Foreign Affairs Committee.
Okay, great. You can't answer the question, even though we all know that President Biden won.
I don't answer the question because the Secretary of State, I do not participate in domestic political issues.
This is not about domestic political issues. This is about our democracy.
You're asking me to opine, just like I don't do campaign rallies.
It seems like
I don't do because as Secretary of State, we're not supposed to. That's been the long tradition of the department, and you should know that if you've been on this committee for any period of time.
Mr. Secretary, it seems like you have an issue.
This little-known cholesterol particle makes LDL sticky, so it clogs up your blood vessels. It ignites harmful inflammation, and it can even cause blood clots as well. I'll share all the details about this deadly cholesterol particle in just a few minutes, but I know the real reason you're here is because you're looking for a solution.
You admitting facts. You can't say that the president lost the 2020 election, just like you won't admit President Trump is losing this reckless war of choice, and just like you couldn't admit that the shoes the president bought you were too big. You clearly don't know what winning means, and not because the facts are unclear to you, it's because telling the truth would cost you your job, and the American people are entitled to a Secretary of State who tells them the truth even when the president doesn't want to hear it, and my constituents, our service members, deserve better. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
I don't know what shoes she's talking about. What is she talking about?
I don't know. Representative Burchett, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you'd like to answer any of that.
Yeah, I don't know about the shoes. I mean, he gave me some Florsheim shoes. They're actually pretty good. They fit fine. I don't know what she's talking about. And maybe that's what she's referring to.
Your shoes look very nice today, Mr. Secretary.
Well, how can you see them? They're way down here. We're talking about shoes. Are you guys kidding me? I mean, is this the Foreign Affairs Committee or is this like a circus? What is this?
California, what are you thinking?
Well, hold on. I want to give you the rest of the story.
When you elect these mental patients.
Representative, that woman you saw there, Sarah Jacobs, is on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, and she is dating a grandson of a Palestinian terrorist. Okay? This is per Laura Loomer. Her boyfriend is Ammar Kampia Najjar. He is running for Congress as well. He deleted his Instagram post, which he praised his terrorist grandfather, who murdered 11 Jews in the 1972 Munich Olympics. And Yasser Arafat's wife fed him soup that he bragged about when he was an infant. Okay? Is she leaking sensitive information to this guy? That's what I want to know.
Is she leaking brain matter?
Well, that too.
I mean...
Okay, here's another boom. Senator Ron Wyden versus Scott Besson.
Yeah.
Let's be clear here. Nobody is interested in the ramblings of a capo in the most corrupt regime in American history. We want to get some facts about this deal. That's what we're here for. Thank you.
And we would like to hear what Adam Wyden and Jeffrey Epstein talked about. Your son's largest investment position was Rick's Cabaret. So did your son and Jeffrey Epstein talk about pole dancing as he begged him for money using your limited credibility?
Boom. Scott Bessent is thug life.
I wouldn't go after Scott Bessent at all. I mean, this is unbelievable. He had an $18 million slush fund for this $18 million slush fund for some 365 congressmen that voted to keep it. That's all part of it as well. That's all you really need to know. They're all in it. They're all saying they want the Epstein files released, but they aren't coming out with anything. Then let's go to James Tallarica. This never gets old. God is non-binary.
I listened to 15 hours of testimony on this bill. The worst part for me was the number of Christians who used Scripture to justify hurting children. Even on this floor today, a member tried to justify a hateful amendment in the name of God's law. So let's talk about that. The first 2 lines of the Bible, the first 2 lines in Genesis, use 2 different Hebrew words to describe God. One is the masculine Hebrew noun for divinity. The second is the feminine Hebrew noun for spirit. God is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is non-binary.
You know, Ron, I can't take it anymore.
In
Ron,
Genesis
cut this
1:26.
off.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
This guy,
what
Texas,
are you thinking,
Texas,
Democrats?
Texas. Are you serious?
Democrats, are you serious? Between Maine and this guy and this Jacobs woman and who she's, who her boyfriend is and who's running for Congress, they are so off the rails, it's not funny. We need something to make us smile.
We need to get into some serious stuff here.
We do.
Because these mental patients are not serious. Now, those of you that are our age, you're going to remember this. I think it's from 1966.
This is bad.
And it's how TV shows used to promote good dental hygiene.
Meanwhile, on a narrow ledge, just below the roof of the venerable Chessman Building, the Riddler and his felonious filmsters prepare to shoot a shattering spectacle, stolen straight from Harold Lloyd.
Riddler, this life of crime has finally softened your brain. Can a robin fly if his wings are clipped? You won't earn a nickel murdering me, Riddler. This doesn't make sense.
Correct, boy wonder. Not cents, dollars. At least $1 million.
Robin!
Curses! The bat rope. Grab it with your teeth. Hold on, Robin. Tight. I'll ease you back up to the ledge. You all right, Robin?
Holy molars. Am I ever glad I take good care of my teeth?
True. You owe your life to dental hygiene.
You sure do, Robin.
Holy molars, Batman.
You owe your life to dental hygiene, by gosh.
If we could only laugh like that again.
If we could only
had
see things
simpler-
like that again
Yeah.
without having to go to MeTV or something.
Yeah, but I mean, holy molar, Batman.
But no, we have to watch people that are stricken with TDS.
Yes, it's
And by the way, go buy Natasha Owen's new single, TDS.
Yes.
TDS, download it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get serious, and we got some heck of guests. Heck of guests.
Heck of a list of guests.
Oh, we got heck of guests.
Yes, okay.
All right, we'll be right back.
AR lovers, you need to see this. This gadget right here saved me over $500 at the range.
Always remember, they are coming after me because I am fighting for you.
I can feel it coming in the air. I've been waiting for this moment for all my life.
Get out and vote. Oh, I need my pencil. Are we doing this?
Get out and vote. You guys like that bumper, so we redid it for the midterms, and I'm going to tell you something. If you don't get out and vote, here's what's going to happen. In January, they're going to impeach President Trump. And they're probably going to try to impeach J.D. Vance.
Mm-hmm.
And you will be talking about President Hakeem Jeffries.
They can do anything to cheat.
So I think it's really imperative that you get out and vote.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, early voting back in Georgia for the runoff. Burt Jones for governor, Greg Dolezal, lieutenant governor, we're backing, and Vernon Jones for secretary of state.
Yep.
Over in South Carolina, Mark Lynch.
Yep.
Fire Lindsey Graham, please, folks. And Pamela Yvette is the current lieutenant governor running for governor. Big, important races. California. In about 2 or 3 weeks, we might have some results. And I bet somebody who could really talk about that right now is our next guest, and that would be one Mel Kay. Let's bring her on. There she is.
What up, sister?
She has the best head of hair in television. That's for sure. That is for sure.
I love you too. How are you guys doing? Great to be here.
We're doing
Absolutely.
Good. So what century will we get some election results in California?
I mean, it's such a travesty. But the worst part is that people just think it's, cheating. It's so much worse than that. Like they always talk about saving democracy. If our voice and our vote and our elections aren't exactly what the American people want, then who is running this country?
No.
And it's got to go back to the citizens realizing this is enough's enough. Because I'm telling you, the cheating machine is built. But there's a lot more people out there that, don't vote at all. I think we got to find them and explain to them where we are and that this isn't the time to give up. And it's got very little to do with even Donald Trump or anything else. It's got to do with who runs our republic, and do we even have a republic at this point, and what are we going to do about it? And if we don't get involved, then it's our own fault.
What's so unbelievable to me is that a number of gun owners and evangelicals who really, if they voted as a bloc, would definitely whitewash everything and get us back to where we really want to be. Which brings me to your book. Now, first of all, hold on. Where did I put the other book? Oh, it's right here. Your last book, okay? Americans Anonymous was a bestseller, but you've got a new book out, which you see on the screen there, coming out June 23rd. Already 3 number ones in the pre-sale category.
Yeah, baby.
Infiltration instead of invasion, from America Betrayed 1944 to 1954. So tell us about that. But I would venture to say, I mean, I'm thinking 1913 was really the beginning of the end when the Fed was created, but I'm sure that's all part of it.
It is. Wilson was a traitor. I mean, people have to learn history in America. I've known this for decades. He's the one, Wilson, who brought in progressivism, which has been the virus that has been hurting our country from the inside out since he brought that into America, but also the Federal Reserve, the tax entire structure. And again, I always felt Wilson still worked for the crown, or at least was not an American first type of guy. But whatever the case may be, from Wilson forward, so you're right. But something happened in the period I'm talking about, 44 to 54, that most Americans know nothing about. And I think we have to take a step back and realize a lot of our history, particularly post-World War II, is a lie, and it's been written by the people that I believe betrayed this country. And I point directly at the two Wall Street lawyers, the brothers known as the Dulles brothers, because though our country was infiltrated through the banks in 1913, in 1953, the two of them walked into the two most powerful positions in the United States of America that are not elected, the Secretary of State and the head of the CIA. And I believe from that day forward, they had already come up during the war. They were partners with different people in the Bank of International Settlements, in Sullivan and Cromwell, in many different multinational corporations, because as lawyers at Sullivan and Cromwell, they did a lot of the first multinational deals, a lot of deals between places like Standard Oil of New Jersey, which is the Rockefellers, and IG Farben in Germany, which is, of course, ended up being tried in Nuremberg, some of the heads of that company. And they were very involved with the creation of the Bank of International Settlements and its immunity. So what people have to know is in 1953, I firmly believe the State Department, the USAID, and the CIA, and probably the Five Eyes nations essentially turned the State Department into a tentacle of the international banking cartel and the global public-private partnership, and forsaked the United States of America for endless war for profit and running our country above our nation. And the reason I looked into it is because no matter how many presidents come and go, nobody can seem to get a lot done. And all these people in DC seem to have immunity. And, I was on tour with a couple different tours trying to, wake up the country. And I always started with the JFK speech from 1961 at the Waldorf Astoria. He gave a speech to the press because the press was always a problem. It's not a new thing. And the speech was about that they wanted a sign of clear and present danger. And he started the part of the speech that I use in my epigram in the book with the danger has never been more clear or present. And he goes into talking about monolithic and ruthless conspiracy of infiltration instead of invasion, of subversion instead of elections, of guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. He goes on to describe a tightly knit group of people that use politics, military, law, and propaganda and everything to control the world, and that we were in danger. And of course, he was murdered shortly after that.
What's behind this state's low cholesterol and glucose levels? Keep your heart as strong as America.
And I always wondered, people who say that speech was about communism, but I had done this speech so many times, I know it by heart. It was not about communism. He was warning about something inside our government, inside our country, that was already a problem, and he was trying to tell us. And then after that, of course, Eisenhower said something similar. And then after that, Truman, who actually signed off on the CIA on his deathbed, essentially said, had he known what the CIA would have become, he never would have created it.
Yeah.
And he has said, he called it sinister and the Gestapo. So what we have to understand is I firmly believe not only have we been looted and laundered and lied to the tune of trillions and trillions of taxpayer dollars, but I firmly believe that they set it up, that the United States taxpayer paid for the entire Cold War, the entire war on terror. Both have no enemy. They can change the enemy at any time. And then we paid for the entire fraud that is the global warming, climate change nonsense since the 90s.
Yeah.
So to me, we were set up to fund this international, supranational architecture that was built while we were celebrating a win in World War II. All of these international bankers and operatives, they built something above our nation from within. And we need to start getting back to the truth and tearing down the walls and looking at what really happened in the post-World War II era in America.
And ironically, we're taping this on D-Day.
Yeah, we've got Mel, we got less than a minute. I want to get a question in with regard to who do you think has assumed those roles of these two nefarious characters of the 50s, 40s, and 50s. Who's doing it right now? You got less than 30 seconds, so we'll pick it back up when we get back.
Well, I will tell you two things everyone should know. The Bank of International Settlements was supposed to end after World War I. It didn't. It is the most protected in the world, and I think all roads lead there. And I believe that the international intelligence apparatus, which we know as the CIA, has always worked not for we the people or to protect us, but to protect the international infrastructure that was created at the end of World War II from us. And that is what we're dealing with. International banks and multinational corporations are running our country.
I wish we could say we were wrong. But so far, unfortunately, that's not the case. Folks, Mel K, we're going to go back with another segment. Again, her new book, get it, Infiltration Instead of Invasion, America Betrayed, 1944 to 54, already in pre-sale, a bestseller. We'll be back with more Mel K right after this.
Cowboying is in our blood. Cowboying is in our bruises, in our calloused hands tested by barbed wire and rope. It's in our rain-soaked jackets, our mud-stained boots to the crown of our resist-all hat. We don't forget that because we live it every day. We make our resist-all hats the same way we've done since 1927. You live out west for even the shortest time, and there's one thing you learn. You can't pretend out here. Resist-all. We live it every day.
If I was the deep state and I wanted to destroy America, I would rig the election with a puppet candidate. One that was so compromised that they would never say a word about it. I would create a false flag that allows for mail-in ballots. I would be in charge of the ballot counting machines. I would create a false flag to blame all who question the results of the election. If I was the deep state, I would prosecute anyone that went against me. I would sue and prosecute anyone that spoke up about the fraudulent election. I would use my powers to shut down all your internet businesses and bankrupt you. If I was the deep state, I would make everyone an example why you should never question a Democrat ever winning an election. I would imprison my foes. I would use my corrupt DAs and blackmailed judges to destroy you. I would make sure all crimes I ever committed never happened. I would prosecute my biggest competition. I would make sure they could never run for office ever again. If I was the deep state, I would convince everyone that Ukraine Nazis were good and women are men. If I was the deep state, I would own every politician that mattered. If I was the deep state, I would push my pedophilia ambitions on you. If I was the deep state, you'd question your sexual identity but not the medical establishment. If I was the deep state, you would fear to ever resist me. If I was the deep state, you would wish I was really the devil. If I was the deep state, I would say mission accomplished.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Cowboy Logic.
Nobody knows about the deep state really
That's
more than Mel K at this point.
Hey, listen, we don't randomly pick these bumpers, you guys. There's thought that goes into this. All right, let's bring Mel back. Mel K, welcome back to Cowboy Logic. Before we went to break, I didn't really give you enough time to expand on or to answer. Who are the current day players? Are there individuals that we can talk about here that have kind of taken the baton from these characters from the 40s and the 50s?
Yeah, 1,000%. And I mean, all roads lead to Langley for sure. And that's obviously the CIA. Because we, at this point, the American people need to demand that every CIA operative in elected office or in any of our media or anything else needs to be known and exposed. Because frankly, this operation, the overthrow of the duly elected president of the United States of America in 2016 by the international banking cartel and the international intelligence operation with CIA at the top, actually have run these regime change operations since the Dulles brothers took over in 1953. The first regime change operation out of the State Department, CIA, and the rest of them was, of course...
Folks, something big is about to happen to this nation. This has nothing to do with wearing masks again or...
Iran in 1953. They overthrew the state and the government of Iran. But the problem is that they are Wall Street bankers, and we're still dealing with the same thing. That overthrow of Iran in 1953 was because their client was BP, and it was about oil, and their client at Sullivan and Cromwell. So what we have to understand is that in the 40s, when the Dulles brothers were both at, Alan Dulles was in Bern, Switzerland, running the OSS, and John Foster Dulles was essentially an international lawyer dealing with all kinds of multinational corporation stuff between Germany and America. So they were working regularly with the Nazis. They were working regularly with the international banks to create something they called continuity above nations. Well, what people need to understand is that continuity is still in place, and it started in 1945. And why I say that is we have to look at the institutions that survived, not just the people. And the institution that survived includes, like I said, the Bank of International Settlements, which they voted to end after World War I, and nobody ended it. It has complete and total immunity. No jurisdiction is above it. You cannot audit it. You cannot go there. You cannot go on their grounds. You cannot do any legal action. And then they gave that to the Bretton Woods creations of the IMF and the World Bank. And if you keep extrapolating, it's going to go to the same families, essentially, that were involved in the infiltration of the banking system, the first step of ending America's idea that we were an independent nation. But frankly, at this point, what happened was, I believe that after World War II, they set up a World War III model. I have it in my book. It's disturbing to read, but it is true. In 1944, there was a meeting in France. All the international banks were there. The international multinational corporations were there. Hitler's finance guys were there, including Himmler. And the Bank of England, and they decided that they would figure out how to get as much money out of Nazi Germany before Hitler surrendered. So this was a operation of banking systems worldwide. And what we need to know is we were all told that that Switzerland was neutral. Switzerland was not neutral, not at all. Switzerland was keeping the money flowing from Ally to Axis and back and forth. They were taking in money for the Nazis and putting it elsewhere, gold, whatever else. And this still stands today. It was the International Organization Immunity Act of 1945. Now, when I talk about what we are doing now and what Trump is doing, I believe that he's dismantling this supranational international banking infrastructure and endless war for profit model and the NGO complex that protects it from we the people, that gets in between us and them. And they don't want that. They've had power for at least 100 years. They have looted and laundered the American people to the tune of $21 trillion, likely, if not more. And frankly, everything that they created has been a betrayal of this nation. And the worst part is we've had 6 presidents in there that knew this. They knew this. The IMF and the World Bank and 100 other international organizations since 1945 on U.S. soil, the United States has zero jurisdiction over. The United States doesn't have jurisdiction over the IMF or the World Bank that are sitting in Washington, D.C. They have no jurisdiction over any of these international groups that are protected by immunity. That needs to be rescinded. But when you look at what Trump has done, especially with Tulsi Gabbard, who is a true hero and probably the bravest woman we have ever had in any office.
Yeah.
They are trying to dismantle, I think, the infrastructure of the CIA regime change coups. There's been about 60 of them. And again, the CIA, I don't believe, was ever created to protect the United States of America from foreign threats. Even, like I said, Truman, who created it, said he never would have. It was supposed to be an international intelligence gathering operation. What it became, I believe, including the Five Eyes, MI6, CIA, is basically an international protection racket of the international banks and their multinational partners.
Yep.
And that is who Donald Trump is fighting. It is not.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. There are groups out there right now of CIA operatives that were doing regime change in the on the continent of Europe for decades, and they set up Ukraine. People have to understand, at the end of the USSR, George Soros already was totally in Ukraine. George Soros has had a long-term deal with USAID. What he's done all over Europe is overthrown regimes from the ground up using National Endowment for Democracy, USAID, CIA, whatever, and they overthrow them. Well, that's what they did in Ukraine in 2014. Obama,
we just sent more billions to Ukraine, which shows you how it's exactly. It's unbelievable, but it's predictable. It's predictable. Like I say, I wish we were wrong, but you can see this coming. So, but we only have a couple of minutes left here. Your book, Infiltration Instead of Invasion, basically shows the foundation where all of this started, correct? And again, see, I would have said it was well before 1954, but the real gist of it is 44 to 54, America Betrayed. Again, folks, you see it there on your screen, and we have the last book. Okay. Americans Anonymous.
Buy them all.
Buy them all, because at this point, I just want to know how somebody who went to journalism and film school at NYU actually is a conservative when you spent 2 decades in Hollywood as well. My dad went to NYU, and I couldn't get him to vote Republican for anything. But your book is out June 23rd. But it's #1 already in 3 pre-sale categories, which is awesome. Folks, and just real quick, tell us about your appearance in Tulsa that you're going to do from the 19th to the 20th of June on your events page.
Yeah, so I will be in Tulsa the 19th and 20th. It's a reunion of the Reawaken team that we went around with for 3.5 years. You can find that on my events page. And honestly, the first book led to the second book. The American people need to be empowered with the truth. Whether we like it or not, we have not been told the truth. If we all got online and understood the architecture that I lay out in my book, it is not a conspiracy book. I go through the real documents, the treaties, how we got here. We would realize that we have all equally been betrayed. No one's more, more or less than anyone else. And the only way we get out of this is if we, the people, are honest about our history and decide that enough's enough. And I think that's what Trump and them are doing. And it's very hard to see. But I do a daily news show now every day because, like I said, these lawfare people, a lot of this goes back to Wall Street lawyers still. And these people like Norm Eisen and this Steady State is a whole bunch of former spooks from the CIA. All these people admit that they have been involved in the color revolution overthrow of the duly elected president of the United States of America in 2016, Donald Trump. And it is still going on. The coup continues. That's why they're still sending money to Ukraine. So I cover that every day from 12 to 1:30 on Rumble and X Live. And I will keep fighting, but the American people need to know the truth. And once they do, I believe it will finally set us free. And we can actually have the independence stolen from us in 1913. And then our money looted and laundered from 1953 forward can start to be traced and tracked. And we can find the real criminals who destroyed America from within.
From your lips to God's ears, okay? At Mel K Show. On all social media, with the exception
the Mel K Show.
Well, and Instagram, the Mel K Show.
Oh.
Okay?
I'm wrong.
Straight.
I don't have my glasses on, Mel. Sorry.
.com. And again, folks, listen to her Monday through Friday, noon to 1:30, you said, about? So that's cool.
Yep, every day, Monday through Friday, because the lawfare people, the NGOs, these people need to be held accountable, and they will.
Okay. Thank you, Mel K. We'll look for you. Such a patriot, everybody. We'll be back with more Cowboy Logic right after this.
Why this $60 invention is making $300 pressure washers obsolete. Because it doesn't...
Barn Party Drummers, you guys rock. You rock every week. You rock on Friday mornings, which is huge.
So much fun.
Because I sit there in the chat and I see nothing but drums. You guys aren't even paying attention to what Donna's saying. All you're doing is playing drums the whole time. And even Hammerchuck plays one drum. What's he say?
He puts one drum in there.
I'm going to beat my drum all day or something like that?
Yeah.
All right.
He doesn't want to work. He just wants to bang on a drum all day. And these are done by
El Ronbo.
El Ronbo.
Cowboy Logic.
Laser.com.
That's right. All right, we got a special treat for you guys. Oh, and we'd be remiss if we didn't say Dana. Okay, we got a real special treat for you guys. And
Speaking of when I'm on RAV on Fridays.
Yes.
And other times.
We have got the stellar, the talented, the moderately attractive
eye candy. Sorry.
Bo Davidson's with us. What's up, big bad Bo?
I'm drumming.
Hey, man, nice black beaver you got on there.
Why does everybody feel compelled to wear a cowboy hat on this show? Everybody.
How could you not?
That's
How could
true.
you not?
Well,
I'm
man.
from Tennessee. I'm from Tennessee.
That's
so
right.
I'm not posing. I mean, I am from Tennessee. So.
You used to live at Graceland, from what I've heard. Hey.
Well, my parents did grow up a mile from Graceland. So
Yeah,
that
but
area
now-
of Tennessee, of Whitehaven, absolutely.
Now, that's the hood, man.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
serious.
a rough part of town.
Rough.
We went
Rough.
over there one Christmas just to take the kids and go see Graceland, and we were packing heat, man.
It's rough.
Be
Yeah,
honest.
It's rough. Hey,
All
before
right.
we get started,
Yes,
I got to
sir.
give a big shout out to Dana. I know that Dana's in the chat.
Excellent. Round of
And
applause.
I think it's worthy of mentioning because I know Dana's in those chats and is a big fan. So, Dana, this segment is for you.
Yeah, buddy. There you go, Dan. It can't be butthurt now. All right. Bo.
You know, people don't realize how talented you
Yes.
are. Seriously.
Yes.
I mean, besides being a RAV anchor and all over the place with RAV, you're an actor, a singer, a songwriter, anchor for
And a
Real America's
dad.
Voice, a new dad, dad number 2, actually.
That's right.
Born and raised in Memphis, and I can honestly say I've been to Memphis twice. Once to go to Graceland, the other one to see our Oath Keeper friend Kelly Meggs in prison. So
That's it.
And you didn't die. The fact you came out alive is a win.
Yeah, but we were packing heat, except we didn't pack any heat when we went and visited Kelly in
Yeah.
prison.
But Trump has sent in the ground troops there, so things are supposedly cleaned up. But you
They
went
sure-
to
yeah, they're
Northwestern. You went to Northwestern School of Music, degrees in vocal performance and political science. I did political science and communication, so we're pretty close. But you can sing. But you've been in so many different things. Broadway singer. You have a balanced career that's traversed film, television, and stage. TV shows like The Bold and the Beautiful and The Gilmore Girls, as well as starring in films such as Runaway Romance opposite Tatum O'Neal. How cool is that?
Yeah.
And then Hallmark's Ultimate Legacy with Raquel Welch and Brian Dennehy. Love them both. And soon...
I love Raquel more.
Well, I like Brian.
Just
more.
being
Yes.
honest.
Well, he's more my type. All right. Playing Jesus, though, in the soon-to-be-released musical film Mendel's Messiah, which is just awesome, too. And You're seeing across the top of the screen your new song on Real America's Music. Folks, download it now. It's going to be there for Flag Week. June 14th is Flag Day, which is Trump's birthday, but we're going to release this on June 12th with Real America's Music and the talented Bo Davidson.
Welcome.
thank you for having me.
Now we have to take a break, Bo.
Yeah, now, yeah,
Thanks for stopping by.
After that entire diatribe.
All right, listen. Before you, and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play a little bumper for this song. But, Bo, you understand what I'm about to say, and that is you guys, you people, our beloved viewers, are why we, as Real America Music artists, drive songs way up the charts. It's not us.
Nope.
It's you guys. And the way to do it, there's one way that you guys can finger blast the secular music industry, and that is by downloading Real America Music artists on iTunes. That's the way to do it. What happens on iTunes is what happens on Billboard the following week. Okay? So please go download this song. Bo, tell us about this song. Ben Davison, you can tell I'm a Raiders fan from way back. Bo, tell us about the song, buddy.
Yeah, so, everybody, I think, is influenced or has been influenced by God Bless the USA. We know the Lee Greenwood song. And actually, when I lived in Nashville, met Lee and his lovely wife, Kim, and their wonderful children. And so it was nice to meet the person who wrote and performed that song. There was a time when, and I think now is even more true, perhaps even when I wrote the song, where I felt like, generationally speaking, my generation and the generations that were coming after me were apathetic. The patriotism had waned. And I thought, what do I do? Well, Don, you know, as an artist, what do you do when you're an artist? You have to pick up the pen and paper and you have to write about it. They always say writers write what you know. And what I felt was I saw my father's generation, my grandfather's generation. They were the greatest generation. They had patriotism. They loved their country. They knew what courage, honor, duty, glory were. And then I started asking myself a question. What is courage? What is honor? Are these words, or are they just ideals long forgotten? What is glory? Is that just written down in some old story? When we hear a word like freedom, do we know what it really means? Or do we take it all for granted, living like kings and queens? And those were the questions I asked, basic questions. And then the answer comes in the chorus. We are blessed to live in freedom. We are blessed to live in peace. We are blessed with food and shelter, blessed with life on lease, blessed to gather freely, blessed to have a voice, and blessed that someone braver fought so that we, my friends, could have a choice, whether we want to fight or not. And that's where the song came from, was asking basic questions and providing, these are the questions, here are the answers. If you don't recognize your blessings, and they say this, you know, in church, count your blessings.
Yep.
And that's what I was doing. And I thought, I've got to make this charge to my generation to wake up, wake the heck up, and listen to the fact that this country is the greatest country we've ever known. Appreciate its exceptionalism, appreciate what it did, appreciate the people who came before you, because if you don't, it will become extinct, just as Ronald Reagan said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we don't teach
Absolutely.
history in our schools. That's what's so scary. I mean, I sound like my mother. These kids today, they really don't know how easy they have it. I mean, our generation went to Vietnam. There was a draft. You know, now you've got people and just heroes, in my opinion, who actually say, I'm going to willingly.
How the liver warns us it's overworked.
This nutrient will change your body in 3.
Sign up to fight for this country. And a whole generation of kids who don't realize how good they have it, and they can sit there with their little devices and whatever, go on social media and just not realize how hard it is in other parts of the world because they've really never seen it.
Let's give our beloved viewers a little taste of Blessed. Ron, can we roll this this bumper?
My fondest memory of World War II was the day when victory was declared over the Axis.
We are blessed to live in freedom, blessed to live in peace, blessed with food and shelter, blessed with a life on lease.
RAV Family, our very own Bo Davidson, is releasing a powerful new patriotic anthem called Blessed, a heartfelt tribute to the brave men and women who served our nation and protected our freedom. We truly are blessed to be Americans. Scan the QR code now to download Blessed by Bo Davidson. And let's do our part to run this song up the charts as a thank you to those who served and sacrificed for our country.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, you want to put a dent in the secular music industry. Go download Real America's Music Artists Songs.
And not
Blessed.
just that, Don, this will be in the Christian category. It's very important, I think, to say that at Real America's Music and what we're doing at RAM and RAV is making a statement for our faith. That's what this song is. We are blessed to live in freedom because of why? Because of our Creator, not because of some goo that oozed down millions of years ago. No, it's because of God. This nation was divinely inspired. This is going to be in the Christian genre. It's very important, not for my sake, but for the country's sake, that we understand. And you're talking about putting a dent in the secular music industry. Absolutely. Not just for our sake, but because of our Creator.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Real
hey,
America's
we're gonna have you back for another segment. Ladies and gentlemen, on the break, go download it. Blessed by Bo Davidson. Download it on iTunes. We'll be right back.
Baby, you can find me in the back of a jacked up tailgate, sitting around watching all these pretty things. Get down in that Georgia clay and I'll find peace at the bottom of a real talk.
It's always been a family tradition in my family, and just to be a representative of the best country the world has ever known is my true blessing.
We are blessed to live in freedom, blessed to live in peace, blessed with food and shelter, blessed with a life on lease.
RAV Family, our very own Bo Davidson, is releasing a powerful new patriotic anthem called Blessed, a heartfelt tribute to the brave men and women who served our nation and protected our freedom. We truly are blessed to be Americans. Scan the QR code now to download Blessed by Bo Davidson. And let's do our part to run this song up the charts as a thank you to those who served and sacrificed for our country.
Say what we told you to.
This is Hammer Chuck. Watch Cowboy Logic on RAV, the best show on TV.
Or you're going to end up like Teddy.
Yeah, don't end up like Teddy.
Don't want to end up like Teddy.
Hammer Chuck.
Hammer Chuck. You looked pretty worried there with Joe Biggs and Kelly Meggs dragging you around. All right, let's get back to business with Brother Bo. Bo, what an awesome song.
Yeah.
But
it is cool.
There's some history to this song, and let's talk about a couple of the films that you've been working on. One that you played Jesus Christ in it. That's pretty...
Yeah, Mendel's Messiah.
Yeah, one of the hardest. Well, no, not one of the hardest role I've ever played.
I can't imagine. I mean, like Jesus.
I mean, it was hard. It's written by a Messianic Jewish couple who wants to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ to Jews who don't believe, obviously, that Jesus is their Messiah. How does a blonde guy from Memphis, Tennessee get to play Jesus? I don't know. I can only say it's ordained from the Lord above. But it's a musical, very, very hard, challenging music. So not only was I on the cross, being crucified, but I had to sing for 9 minutes. A song called My God, Why Hast Thou Forsaken Me? Incredibly difficult piece. So very hard to film. But this film is unique. It's touching. And Donna, the reason why I think it's so important and critical right now is because it comes from the perspective of a modern Jewish man in Brooklyn who has anti-Semitic graffiti sprayed on his candy store. He prays to God and says, why is this happening? Why is this happening to me? I don't understand what's happening to my people, what's going wrong with the world. The angel Gabriel comes to him. He gets flown back in time to Jesus' time and gets to understand why the Jewish people are so persecuted, originating with Satan, of course, Beelzebub, and his claw on the Jewish people. And so there's a modern component to this that I think everyone that will resonate with, especially as you look at anti-Semitism that's happening not just in our country, but of course in Israel. And you look at that and you say, why is this happening? Well, the root of all evil comes back from even 2,000 years ago when Jesus walked this earth. And that's why my interaction as Jesus with Mendel, the modern man of Mendel, is to say, I'm giving you a choice here. You see what I've gone through. Now, do you believe me? Because that's what it is, guys. It's faith. Yeah. It's do you believe that this happened or not? Amazing film. It's going to be coming out on Prime and Apple TV and everything else in the next month or so. So I hope your viewers will keep an eye out on that.
Hey, we're going to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
With Puppy Bannon and popcorn. Let me ask you this. It would be pretty cool to do a movie with Raquel Welch.
Yeah. And Brian Dennehy.
Raquel, though. Yeah. Okay? She didn't wear that cave woman thing, did she?
Please stop.
No, she didn't. She was.
But that's on the Hallmark channel?
Yeah,
it's on Hallmark. Yeah, and actually it's airing on June 13th, so Saturday. So I know your show airs on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 Central. It's called The Ultimate Legacy. It's the third in a trilogy of films called The Ultimate Life, Ultimate Gift, Ultimate Legacy, based off of books by Jim Stovall. I play a musician named Maximilian Swain. And what's so interesting, guys, about this story is that when I auditioned for the film, they needed a musician. They wanted a real musician to be in the film. And so the director said, can you pretend like you're in front of an audience full of veterans? And what would you say to them? And I started quoting, just as I did at the top of your last segment, lyrics to Blessed. And the director said, is that something you've written? I said, yeah, it's a song I've got. I get cast in the role, and lo and behold, they have put Blessed in the film. So for those of you who watch the Hallmark Channel who have seen The Ultimate Legacy or will see it on Saturday, you'll see me perform that very song, which is my own composition, the one that is now downloadable on iTunes. Very unique way. And again, you think about, this isn't serendipity. This is God winks. This is God allowing himself to intervene and put his music, I believe, or his divinely inspired music into secular film so that people can hear his message.
Go.
That's what I believe.
There you go.
And ironically, we're recording this in advance on D-Day, actually, which is pretty unbelievable. But it's just, to me, such a historic time for our country, these first couple of weeks in June. June 14th is Trump's birthday as well as Flag Day, too. So all this coincides with your song release. It all works together.
Let's watch.
The Army's 251st birthday as well, and UFC Fight Night as well, and it's, of course, our country's 250th birthday. So a lot of great things happening.
Hey, we've still got some time here. Let's watch another one of the videos for Blessed by Bo Davison.
Hey, if you're a gun owner, I guarantee you're going to want this. This is like Duck Hunt for adults. This little system right here makes it so that
in several countries all over the world, and there's nowhere in the world like it is here in this country.
We are blessed to live in freedom, blessed to live in peace, blessed with food and shelter, blessed with life on lease.
RAV Family, our very own Bo Davidson, is releasing a powerful new patriotic anthem called Blessed, a heartfelt tribute to the brave men and women who served our nation and protected our freedom. We truly are blessed to be Americans. Scan the QR code now to download Blessed by Bo Davidson. And let's do our part to run this song up the charts as a thank you to those who served and sacrificed for our country.
Yeah. Download it. Here's the thing. And Bo, I know you know what I'm talking about here, but our viewers may not. Streaming doesn't drive songs to number one. Downloading it does. Downloading.
Yeah.
It's $1.29. I mean, it's, nothing.
Yeah, it's $1.29. And this is a credit to you, Don, with what you did with your song just a couple weeks ago over Memorial Day. It speaks to the power of the audience, but it also speaks to the song and how the song resonates with people. So, kudos to you and the Cowboy Logic audience for supporting that, because you're right. Streams don't do anything. That's pennies on the dollar. This is not to make Bo or Don rich. This has nothing to do with that. No. This is about saying we are taking culture back with music that matters.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, you guys need to remember, you did it. You're the one that are getting number one hits.
Yep.
Not us. Well, we are.
That's right.
But you're the ones making it happen. And I could not be more honored to be a colleague of yours, not only on Real America's Voice, but to be one of the Real America music artists, because our country is morally bankrupt, Bo.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how we can try and turn it without you guys just sending donations in to help.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity for us to be able to provide you with a tangible product that you can download that will make a difference, and you guys make the difference.
And Don, music will last forever. That's the greatest thing about we musicians, right? Is because you create something that literally will last well after you're dead and gone. And hopefully, and I hope that when I'm, up there in heaven, when I die, that Jesus will say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You did something for me." That's what I hope. I really do. Because on this earth, monetary wealth, all the gains. Matthew 16:26, for what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his own soul? I learned that when I lived in Los Angeles. You're right, Don and Don. It's a morally bankrupt world right now. So this is not about materialism, but you're getting a piece of something that is historic, that gives back to the country, that gives back to veterans, to all those who came before us. I think those things are critically important. And I'm blessed, by the way, to be your colleague as well, Don and Donna. I'm really thankful for what Real America's Voice has allowed me to do. And with this advent of Real America's Music now, I get to spread my wings musically. What a great time to be alive and be in the field and in the channel that we're in and the network that we're in.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you've seen it across for both of these segments. All you got to do is go to iTunes, and you can do this if you have an Android phone. You don't have to have an iPhone to download iTunes songs. You download the iTunes app, and then you can download Blessed by Bo Davidson, and we're going to send this thing to number one. I'm not so sure that it's going to be always in the Christian category there.
Yeah, let's
because
spread it across
we
the
were in rock, and I was talking to LJ going, what the heck are we doing in rock? Hey.
Yeah, because they assign it however they want to assign it. I think there's elements of country music in it. There's elements of blues and rock and a lot of things. That's just because I'm where I'm from, in Memphis. So they can do with it whatever they want to. I just care that it resonates with people.
We can put it in polka music and just drive it to number one. We don't care.
At the Bo Davidson. Find him on all social media platforms, everybody. Bo, we thank you so much.
Go download the song. Download it, download it, download it.
We are blessed.
We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. Kelly Meggs. I'm sure you know me at this point if you watch Don and Don at all. But tonight I let the dogs out for the last time and was kind of doing my nightly ritual. I sit outside a lot because I don't like being inside because of the jail cell thing. But I reflected a lot on this past week and with Charlie Kirk being assassinated and everything that happened with him. You know, our prayers all go out to him, but we also have a sense of what can we do? What can we do as Americans and as citizens to stand up against this? And what we can do is we can support companies that support us and support what we believe in our country. And Sugar Creek Goods is one of those companies. I just took a shower, like before bed. That's what I do every night. And I thought about this while I was in the shower. I'm like, this is a fantastic product. Not only is it an amazing product, but it's a company that supports our beliefs and in America. So if you want to do something, use your promo code 1776 and make a difference. Buy from an American company that supports Americans. It supports what we believe in. Not what the media and everybody else tells you to believe in, but the truth. Use your promo code 1776. And God bless you. And God bless America.
This gadget saved me over $500 at the range.
If you shoot a
This is my calling, called in pain, born for the fight, baptized in flame. America bleeding, I heard the cry. Green Beret warrior, live free or die. Never forget. Never forget. Steel birds screaming through the night, mountains closing in, no room for light, frozen ground, no place to sleep, waiting in silence, counting the beats. Down in the dark, engines and guns, death being packed for the innocent ones. Finger on trigger, breath held tight, waiting to bring hell from the sky. Targets marked, no turning back, justice loaded, ready to crack. This is my calling, called in pain, born for the fight, baptized in flame, painted
never forget.
Never forget. My stomach is growling. What the? Did you hear that?
No, but I've got ears in. Hey, listen, never forget. You guys know, you've seen that bumper plenty of times. That song that you heard was based off of an email that Brother Jeff McKellop, J6er, sent us in 2023 on September 11th. And he was basically purging his soul with this email. And at that time, he was in the Fort Worth Medical Treatment Facility where they were trying to deem Jeff, who you know, as incompetent to stand trial. Why? Because of his past. Special Forces, CIA contractor, top secret clearance on January 6th, and he saw a color revolution going down on the Lower West Side on J6.
And I would venture to say our next guest saw that same thing as well.
Which is why we played that bumper. Here we go. Go ahead, Donna.
Let's bring him on. Rocky, welcome to Cowboy Logic. You are a Jan 6er making your debut. Well, actually, you were on outside Tina Peters' prison with a bunch of Jan 6ers that were out there on Memorial Day. So that's where we got introduced to you from George White Wolf Riley. But you are Special Forces, 10th Group, Green Beret, and a Jan 6er. So tell us what happened to you on J6. Like Jeff McKellop, did you see what really turned out to be, in our opinion, a color revolution on We the People?
Well, yeah, let me just say a little bit why I was there that day. You know, being involved in politics, I was the chair for the 24th District Republicans back in North Dakota. And on election night, we were all having an election watch party, and when they shut down the voting, we all just looked at each other, knew that the steal was on, that they're going to steal the election. And so we were all pretty fired up to go there to hear him speak that day. But we went there, I went there, because I was going to support what was supposed to happen, which was Congress, a certain number of Republican congressmen, as well as senators, are going to stand up, utilizing the 1887 Electoral Count Act, the provisions within that, to object to the certification of the Electoral College, which would have given Vice President 30 Pence the opportunity to send that back down to the states for 10 days to review their voting irregularities and their procedures. And that's what we thought was going to happen that day. And then they threw it off the rails by throwing a color revolution. I mean, that's why they had the pipe bombs in place. That was the backup for if they could not get a riot going. That is my firm belief. And I'm not going to mention names, but the one person they thought was involved in dropping those pipe bombs off, that also might have been in law enforcement at the Capitol that day. She was the actual training officer for the use of less than lethal force for the Capitol Police. And she was one of the first people to fire on the people in the crowd with tear gas balls, along with those that were firing rubber bullets directly at protesters, throwing flashbangs into the crowd. I mean, that was everything they could have done to get a crowd going, they did.
Yeah.
For one thing, they threw these sting balls and these flashbangs deep into the crowd so that when they went off, the people that were, of course, behind those backed up. But when it went off behind people, they surged forward. Where they surged? Right into the police line.
Yeah. And then, you could see that with your training. I mean, and it doesn't really take anybody with any kind of common sense to not see what was going on. I mean, Joshua Black, shot in the cheek, was on the FBI's 10 most wanted list within 24 hours. I mean, most of the Jan 6ers we know were arrested within a few months. In fact, some within a few weeks that were, just there to try to support President Trump. It's just amazing how this has been going on now with Antifa and BLM burning down every major city the last 6 years, really, and still going on now in my
and no one being held
home
accountable.
county in New Jersey with no accountability. And yet the Jan 6ers, which some last, 4 hours? You're still, it's an insurrectionist. Your house was raided. Tell us about exactly what happened to you after that.
Well, they first called me. Hang on one second. I just want to silence my phone. I forgot to do that.
That's okay.
They called me on the 13th of February. I got a call from, I guess it was a Minneapolis field office, but the phone was registered to some place in Ohio, if I remember right. They wanted to talk to me. I said, no, I'm not interested in talking. I nothing to say. And that was all I heard until April the 11th of 2023, when they descended on my house. And I will say this, thank gosh, they did have a couple of former Green Berets, or never former, but Green Berets that were working out of the field office in Albuquerque. They must have looked at my file, looked at my background, probably looked at my the federal firearms forms you fill out when you buy, and I'm sure they saw that I'm a well-armed individual, and I'm glad they actually took me at the post office that morning. They waited for me, and the SWAT team descended on me when I pulled up to check my mail. And they took me out to the house, and they had my wife and children out on the deck. My one daughter was out on a walk with my sister, and when they came back, she was carrying her walking stick that we gave her for Easter, and they thought that was some kind of a weapon. They were pointing guns at her. She's 13 at the time. And anyway, it was the usual. There was 45 agents here. They actually told my wife they had 45 agents on site. There was airplanes flying over earlier before they arrested me. They had drones in the air. I mean, it was just ridiculousness. When we pulled into the yard, and I was, of course, shackled in the back of the SUV. I was watching snipers come out of the trees, pretty much on all four cardinal directions around my house. And that was quite unsettling, just to see that the amount of manpower they threw at me for trespassing, picketing and parading, remaining in the Capitol, whatever. They did have a 111A charge against me for pulling an officer out of the doorway underneath the scaffolding on the northwest corner. He actually was the last one standing there trying to hold a very large crowd from trying to go through that door. It was a temporary wall they built. And he was being hit in the side of the head with a flagpole by the agitator everyone knows as Red on Red, or Red on Red with glasses. He is all over that day. His last place he finally was after he broke the first window that allowed the first breach. He was swinging that flagpole at police officers at the top of the stairs right after he was hitting the other officer in the head with it. The last place he was videoed that day was he was standing right behind Ashley Babbitt when she was shot. She fell at his feet. The guy was so identifiable. He never once was put on a most wanted list. There never any inquiries into who this Joker was. And I was looking through hours and hours of video afterwards, just trying to analyze for my own defense and find discovery. You could pick him out of the crowd.
You can.
How the liver warns us it's overworked.
This nutrient will change your body in.
Absolutely could. Rocky, something that
smoke signals. They were using red smoke.
Absolutely.
When Ray Epps exfilled, they used red smoke, and you could see him and his bodyguard team of 8 individuals, 4 in front of him, 4 behind him, escorted him right out.
And that was the signal for things to start. Right? Was that like around 1:30 in the afternoon, 2 o'clock?
Signal for exfil is red smoke.
Yep. Rocky, we're going to go to break here in a couple of minutes, but I wanted to let our viewers know an observation, and that is that for many years, we were able to simply go online and pull DOJ statements about J6ers. We could pull their different files, their statement of facts, their the whole list of legal documents. And Rocky, they're scrubbing that stuff now. I don't know if you knew that or not, but documents that we pulled over the past 5 years, now you can't find. And that is very telling, in my opinion.
Well, and the J6 committee was told, the sham J6 committee was told to keep all of that information, and they haven't. They've scrubbed it. And what really got me is we've learned through the last 5 years how much power the Capitol Police have. The best way I can say it is they're essentially the Jeffrey Epsteins of D.C. They have dirt on everybody, so everybody's afraid to come out with anything. And I never realized that. It's insane to me. And the fact that, I've watched enough cop shows, you don't fire down on a crowd. You don't fire down on their heads. This was classic what you don't do, let alone how they're trying to persecute the Jan Sixers. It's
when we
reprehensible.
When we get back from the break, Rocky, I want to get into what your life was like post-pardon, because, everybody was elated. Everybody was thrilled that Trump did what he said he was going to do and pardon everybody on January 20th of 2025. But a whole new bag of problems then started. So when we get back from the break, we're going to get into a little bit about the fallout of what these people had to go through. We'll be back.
Dan, you want to know what I love? What's up, brother? I love Don and Donna to death. They've been so supportive of January 6th and all. But man, when you come to visit them, they put you to work.
Dude, they just made us mow 62 acres on riding lawnmowers.
Yeah, and then they made me, under the hot sun, build a whole Lego set.
But you know what, though? One good thing about coming here is they always offer you a nice cold bath.
Absolutely.
And what better way to have a nice cold bath than with Sugar Creek Goods? I'm using the Sunshine Serenity.
And I was using the Valentine Surprise, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you what, if you've got a bath going and you're not using Sugar Creek Goods, you're missing out.
Dude, just look how it lathers up. It's just amazing. So make sure that you don't miss out. You go to sugarcreekgoods.com.
Oh, and you know what else? They've been very supportive of January 6th and the entire community. So you actually got to buy them for that fact alone, on top of the fact that they got great goods.
So just make sure that everybody that you support them because they support us. Go to sugarcreekgoods.com.
Thank you, guys. Love you.
You want to pay J6ers? You're damn right I want to pay J6ers. If you got wronged by the government, then you should be made right.
Pay them now. Hey, I got my Cowboy Logic pencil this time.
Yes, you do.
At Cowboy Logic.
I always have mine.
.com.
I never travel without my Cowboy Logic pencil. All right, let's get back into serious talk here. Rocky, we went through phases of covering J6 over the 5 years that we and still are covering it. Initially, we were talking to a bunch of the OG guys that were in the D.C. jail, and we were hearing about all kinds of terrible things. Once they ended up going into the BOP, we really couldn't talk to them without causing problems for them, and quite frankly, we don't have permission to interview them in the federal prison. So we started focusing on the collateral damage of January 6th with the families. And sadly, that happened in your case. So you want to shed a little light on what kind of collateral damage your family had to deal with?
Well, obviously, it was very traumatic on my family, especially the children, to see the house raided and see their father taken away in shackles. My youngest daughter had a cancer scare the year before and spent large part of the summer in and out of Children's Hospital. And so, but when they came, you can't see what they're doing in your house. All the shades are pulled. They work in secrecy as they toss everything and search for incriminating evidence. I have a wood stove, and it's a log home, and the wood stove is vented out through the wall into a chimney chase that's on the exterior of the wall. And the chimney itself is double wall, installed by a contractor, installed correctly. They must have taken the heat shield down to look for what might be hidden in that behind the stove. And then all I could figure out is they cranked on the pipe until they were able to disconnect two sections about 12 feet up. And so the first fire I lit in that stove a few days after getting back from San Juan County Jail caught my house on fire. And not only did it catch the house on fire, when we called the fire department, I found this out later by talking to members of the fire department, that one of them worked with my son, that they couldn't come out to the house without a sheriff's escort because my house is designated the abode of a domestic terrorist. And so they had to delay their arrival by 30 minutes as my house was burning. Thank God myself and my neighbor, who was a game warden, we tried the best we could. But I mean, it was windy day, and it was getting out of control. We had about $100,000 worth of damage. So my children had to go through that as well.
After your daughter had cancer surgery at age 4.
Well, and luckily it wasn't cancer, because it was just a massive, massive tumor in her chest, and it took 11 and a half hours to remove it. But it was benign, thank gosh. But it actually had grown in around her spine and was crushing her spinal cord. So they actually had to open up 3 of her vertebrae. Yeah, it was a traumatic. That was bad enough.
Listen, how is she doing right now emotionally? I cannot imagine the damage of just seeing their father.
She has a fear of law enforcement.
Yeah.
She calls them the bad men, especially the federal agents. She calls them the bad men the day the bad men came.
Yeah.
That's forever in her mind. I mean, of those memories you always have from your childhood, you remember those that are mostly either traumatic or very happy. Those are memories she'll never lose.
Yep. You're right. What are some of the other collateral damage effects that misdemeanors and quite frankly, a 111A is? Ladies and gentlemen, 111A is attack on a federal officer or the assault of a federal officer without a deadly weapon. You could shove them, you could punch them, you could do whatever, but it's not with a deadly weapon.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it every damn day taking place with ICE. Okay?
Yeah.
So these charges, first of all, you probably shouldn't have done any time at all. And secondly, you didn't need to be raided by 30 to 40 federal agents in trees with red dots or green dots on everybody. I mean, this is absurd. What has this done to your family? Are you able to rebuild? What did it do to your career or your jobs or your livelihood?
Well, I'll say, luckily myself, Don, I was retired.
It's back. If you didn't get a chance to get one of these quick draws for free the last time we did this special, you can do so today.
So they didn't affect me in that way. But the stress and strain on my family overall was horrible. I mean, it was, it put cracks in my marriage that I don't know if we can heal. We're working, we're trying. But there's a lot of stress there, and a lot of things happened. I mean, eventually I did go to the gulag because I took a plea deal, because and I swear on my grave, on my mother's grave, until the day I die, they had a video of me throwing a water bottle at the police officers outside that lower scaffolding area. It's an AI video. For one, I've had a shoulder replacement surgery. I couldn't have thrown that bottle. I mean, they threw it like a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. I can't do that. It's an impossibility. But using that, that made every charge I had, picketing and parading with a deadly weapon, remaining in the Capitol with a deadly weapon, enhanced everything. They're trying to get me 25 years.
Yeah.
So I took a plea deal in the 111A, which, they're only going for 7 to 10 at that point. My pre-sentencing report, they basically were suggesting 84 to 120 months.
I want to cut to the chase here. Then you go
for one felony, right?
Yeah, I mean,
for one felony, or do they hit you? Do they supersede you with more?
Well, they start enhancing it right away.
Yeah, that's what they always do.
It's going to be the terrorist, and it's going to be the conspiracy, and it's going to be whatever they want. They dug so. I mean, the only thing they could find in my background was about 10 years ago. I did an illegal U-turn outside the library in Valley City, North Dakota.
Oh man, when you combine an illegal U-turn with a library, did they get you on any books that were overdue?
Probably. You were from the Dakotas. Would you please do something to South Dakota to get John Thune to? But I digress. Okay. On January, you go into the gulag. You were one of the last people in C2B. This is something, just real quick, we only got a couple minutes left, that blows my mind. Vitaly Grakowski was with you there. He is legally deaf. He was in the Patriot Pod with you, and he's legally deaf, and they didn't give him his hearing aids. Talk about doing sign language. I mean, this is another side of the story we've never heard.
I only met Vitaly the very last day. I wasn't in C2B.
No.
They stopped putting J6ers in there early in 2024. I was in general population.
Yep, you were in GPOP.
Okay.
Yep, but I met those guys when we were getting processed out, and I, of course, got a lot of the stories, and I knew his story anyway because the day he was actually not sentenced, but remanded to the U.S. Marshals, he didn't understand what was going on because I think he took a plea deal as well. And he might have just been being held pre-trial. But when they went to handcuff him, he kind of went a little ballistic. And they took about 12 officers to hold him down because he played football, collegiate football. And he's a pretty stout young man. And anyway, but I felt so sorry for him because he had a whistle he could blow when he was feeling panicked. And the other inmates that were in there with him were learning sign language so they could communicate with him, but they would not give him hearing aids.
It's unbelievable. It's just look at what's going on with these anti-ICE rallies, and they're talking about how horrible the illegals are being treated. You know, I'd like them to try to do one iota of any kind of time in the D.C. gulag that the Jan 6ers went through, and then come back and talk to me. I mean, they're treating these illegals better than they're treating American citizens. We're seeing it, overseas as well in the UK.
I want to add one thing too about when they arrested us and what they did to us. I had a federal public defender, and he from the Department of Justice, and he knew days before I was raided that I was going to be arrested. And everything was so scripted. I mean, every small newspaper from up in Valley City where I lived, every radio station, every TV station up there, down here in New Mexico and southern Colorado, it was a vast media blitz as soon as we're arrested.
It was contrived. It was so contrived. Well, it's not.
This went back months.
Yeah.
Hey, Rocky, we are so thrilled to have you finally on with us one-on-one. We want you to stay for the most beautiful national anthem ever sung. That by your brothers in C2B. Gentlemen, time for the hats to come off. Ladies and gentlemen, hand over your hearts. We appreciate the fact that you trust us with 2 hours of your time. And Rocky, we love you like a brother. We'll see you guys next week.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.